Hello, hello, hello. We'll see you around. Who's around tonight? I know it's a little earlier than usual, but it's the way things gotta be for now. Let me move this and do this and this and this. And if no one's around for a bit, we can just get on with what the latest agenda is here. They've definitely made some changes to Facebook. I mean, to YouTube. Hi, Nydia. How you doing tonight? Coming at you from the upstairs office with a little different layout as we're starting to do a little bit more work around the house and getting ready for moving things around downstairs. So, I'll start off with the easiest news, which is we are confirmed with the animal shelter, Cape and Animal Aid, to do another podcast tomorrow. My guess is 11:15 a.m. We may actually make that 11:30 if it makes things a little easier for the crew. But we'll see. Usually Jane shows up with the puppies around 11 or so, and then once they're settled. The problem is I like doing the show when they're not settled because they're a little more frenetic and it's fun that way. But we're not positive who she's bringing tomorrow, but it sounds like it's going to be 2 and maybe up to 4 puppies at once. And then we're going to be showcasing off, I think, an adult cat too that could use a forever home. So anyway, we should be live here on this channel and then hopefully on Facebook as well to hit up the locals. So that, again, that's tomorrow, 11:15-ish Eastern Standard Time. It's not exactly appointment television, but if we can do it, we'll do it. So yeah, so I was going to wait and see who was around tonight to talk about what's been going on in Gloucester. Obviously, it's weird because it being national news, you know. Hi, Rose. How are you tonight? So, yeah, if you hadn't heard, a fishing vessel was lost Friday morning. A Gloucester boat, the Lily Jean, which a lot of us here in the city, we definitely knew the boat for certain, and a lot of the crew members, including the captain. So it's been rough for a rough few days now around here. Obviously, Friday morning was it's freezing out, and I think those guys were 40 or 50 miles off the coast and ran into some trouble. And so anyway, we're pretty close with some family members, and one of them was actually here the night afterwards with us. So we got a little bit of news about that and inside information, but it was weird seeing it be national news. I don't know why it happened like that. I mean, I know Gloucester's on the map, and of course it's a bad accident and everything, and all the attention, of course, to those big fishing shows on Nat Geo and Discover. I think has one too, and the captain Gussie was actually featured on one of those shows for an episode years back. So. Anyway, it's tough. We kind of got into this weird spot where, hi Annalie, how are you tonight? Where the accident occurred Friday morning, and we kind of knew what the score was then. And then Sunday afternoon was sort of an impromptu mass at the big Catholic church here in Gloucester. And so I was on the phone with representatives for the state senator, et cetera, because they wanted to perhaps broadcast the mass live, which I felt pretty odd about because it was so fast afterwards. And to me, it almost sounded more like it was impromptu, but it seemed more like if the weather was better here, like if it were spring or summer, it would have been the kind of event that would maybe have been a candlelight vigil at the Fisherman's Memorial Statue or the Fisherman's Wives Memorial Statue. So I was like sheepish about it, but I kicked tires to see if that broadcast could happen. And actually, it would have gone through Andrew, who is my tech guy here for downstairs because he does broadcasts from church in the past, and we did that. We had a state representative passed away on Thanksgiving, and we worked on having her mass broadcast. I think that's still on the YouTube channel here as well. So just a weird situation because obviously Andrew and I are both from big Italian families with backgrounds in fishing, and it's 2 degrees of separation here. Everybody knows everybody. So of course we're going to help out if called upon, but it was kind of weird. And then I think Andrew had been talking about doing a broadcast last second, but then the priest actually asked us to not broadcast it live because I think things were too raw and too soon, and you don't want to get caught not saying the wrong thing, but maybe leaving someone out or mispronouncing someone's name, or it could be something as simple as that could blow up because of all the attention it got. There was national media, and of course all the Boston stations were up and at the church and reported extensively on it. So that's the latest there. I know the captain's daughter is actually a client of mine. She's an optometrist here in town, and she posted that she's going to be closed for a couple of weeks. And I've actually worked with the captain's sister. I actually park right next to her when I go to work at the TV studio. And they've had a brutal year, and so they're just talking about shutting down their businesses for a bit. And to me, it's just giving everybody just time and space to deal and heal. So that's always been my stance. So anyway, so that's been a tough situation. It's going to get tougher, especially once they have the services for everybody. So yeah, 7 lost at sea, and it's just weird how it happens every year or two. I think as long as we've been doing this channel, I think there was at least one other rough accident 2 summers ago, and perhaps even another one here. So but anyway, that's just the life of fishermen here, and we're far too used to it. I think we've had more than 10,000 lost at sea in our 400 plus years of history here as a seaport. And so that's it. So the whole city's dealing with it right now, and I don't know. It is what it is. So anyway, there may be, if Andrew and I, if there is some sort of agreement to broadcast that mass, of course, I would put it on this channel just so it would be easier for some folks to share that link and watch, or share it after the fact. Share that link after the fact. So anyway, I'll let you guys know if that's in the cards, but I imagine, where are we now? Wednesday. So yeah, I don't know if that would even happen this week. I haven't seen anything yet from the family yet. So anyway, that's enough about that. So anyway, yeah, so Antley, you're probably asking about, so Christian and I have chatted through Facebook here and there, and I think he left me a video message. I don't know, I can't remember if I got back to him or not, but basically just about how he's just been busy with stuff, and I think he's had some evening events here on Wednesdays now. So so that's where he has been lately. So and honestly, I think you know as much as I do at this point. So that's the latest there. Rose, the only reason why I knew about the area was you and Ms. Dion. Yeah, so Rose, so that's the thing, is so we're the country's first seaport. It's a big maritime history here. If you've ever heard of Gordon's of Gloucester, the Gordon's fishermen, that started here. Bird's Eye Frozen Foods was here for a long time back in the day. Gloucester was the largest fishing port in the country during World War II. And even on like a sillier version, if you ever have a fillet of fish sandwich at McDonald's, chances are that's a Gloucester fish. So anyway, yeah, that is literally our heritage, where it's essentially an island here, and still a big fishing port with a working waterfront. And of course, the industry's taken a massive hit just because of regulations and whatnot over time. There's a million reasons, but our city still holds on to that tradition and history dearly. And this is just a hazard of the trade. Just this happens. So anyway, yeah, it's brutal stuff. So And if you want, Rose, if you ever go down the rabbit hole, I do have a couple of videos on here from my Timeline Cape Ann series. One's on the story of Howard Blackburn. He's probably the most famous mariner in our history. And I have another one that's sort of like on Gloucester's fishing heyday, if you're ever into that stuff too, and kind of get a better idea of what this neighborhood is like. So anyway, so that is that. In other news, Andrew was going to come here last Monday, not this previous Monday, but 9 days ago on Monday, to set up the studio to start doing interview shows. And then we got hit by this blizzard where we got more than 2 feet of snow right Sunday, right through Monday the next day. And Andrew literally lives like, I'll say, less than 15 doors up from me on this street. And there's no way he could have gotten down here that day, especially he has little kids at home too. So we pushed it off for another week, which would have been this past Monday. And then, of course, there was the fishing tragedy. And so we put the brakes on that for now. He's going to be here for a little bit tomorrow morning to help set up the show. So I can chat with him for a bit there in case we have to work together on any, if the funeral or something, whatever. If we're asked, we just want to be prepared for it. And then it's when can we start figuring out the show down there so we can start doing shows really as soon as possible. So I'm ready to roll with that part. So anyway, that's what's going on there. There's Thankful. Hello, hello, hello. There's 3 of our wrenches in-house. So that's the deal there. And of course, I'll let you know about the interview stuff. I'll probably be downstairs doing this first before we get some of those interviews in. But that's the latest there. As you know, I have been doing a lot of speaking engagements around that history documentary series that I do. So I had one a couple weeks ago that went really well. I'm working on, I've narrowed my focus a bit, and I'm going to work on the murder mystery book, the double murder mystery thing, like now I've been getting into. And I'm actually I think it's going to be a 2-part series. The first one I'm in now, I actually met with one of the authors last week to help me out with that stuff and get more imagery, and I can start figuring out the script. I have all my notes down, which is good. So that helps me get my act squared away for the month of February. So anyway, that's what we'll be doing tonight, is maybe start that script, which is good. And I keep gathering images, like I said, in the meantime. So that's all fun stuff. So that's happening next. But then next Friday, I'm actually doing another speaking engagement on another story I did with the same author. Rob Fitzgibbon is his name. And it was on the Essex body snatcher piece, which is what you've probably seen here, that creepy Halloween era piece we did about stealing, grave robbing, essentially. So because it just so happens that my speaking engagement is going to be Friday the 13th. So we figured, why not? Let's do that one for Friday the 13th. So that's coming up in my immediate docket. And then, I finally figure out which doc I'm moving forward with now, like which one gets finished first, which is the murder mystery one, at least part 1. And I do my video with the sculptor, the title sculptor, Elisa Vanelli. So I do that, part 1 of that. So it was a long interview. It's like at least a good 20 minutes. We'll have that on the channel soon. And so we're at her studio. We actually show the mermaid that she's going to make, that, because hidden and revealed depending on the tides. And we were there a few days before her clay sculpture went to the foundry and get cast. So that has happened. Elisa is actually in Italy right now. I think she gets back Sunday or Monday. And then next week I may be following up with part 2 of that and working even a longer video. But that first up, I'm supposed to be editing now. And then, while I was working on that project with Elisa and the murder mystery, I was also getting ready to do my taxes. So if you don't know my story as a small business owner, is I have used QuickBooks, like an online accounting service, to do my taxes forever. In fact, it was all on my first computer, my first Apple computer. It was a 2008 Mac desktop, which is heavy as hell. They're like 100 pounds. And it had old software on it and I only used that computer to do my accounting for the business. The problem was all Apple products, it's planned obsolescence. They're built to, um, they're built to die in order for you to have to buy the next product, more expensive product, and move forward with everything. The problem was with QuickBooks is that program that I was using didn't carry over into desktops in the future. It was incompatible. And so I was just kind of in limbo for a long time and used this old computer still until about 10 minutes before I started working on my taxes Sunday, and it died. And it's not coming back. So now, luckily, I was smart enough to take my bank registers. When I entered my info into the system, I'd make a copy of it and email it to myself. But now what I have to do is by hand, like manually create my whole bank register again and prepare stuff for my accountant that way. So that's been wicked fun to try to suss out the last couple of days. So that's what I've been doing. Those are my big three things: the taxes and figuring that stuff out, the Elisa Vanelli video, and the script for the murder mystery. So that's that. I have another left, right, center thing coming up at the end of the month. That's already doing really well. I think I already have 7 or 8 tables reserved, which is good. I can have up to 22 in there, so I'm not really sweating that, which is good. It's something I don't want to worry about. I'm going to Vegas for a few days later this month, too, for a couple of concerts and meet some friends that I haven't seen in a long time. So that'll be fun, but I'm not a giant Vegas guy, but whatever. We'll get that out of the way, and it'll be nice to get out of the cold for a bit because it's been a really cold winter here so far. And it's supposed to get even colder through the weekend, too, where we have high temps in the teens and wind chill 20 below. And we're not really used to having that kind of sustained cold here. So it's definitely been a colder than average winter. But we were due. We've had the last, I'd say 3 winters especially, have been layups. Really easy stuff. Maybe shovel once or enough so you can move it with a broom, and not bad at all. And then we got walloped a couple weeks ago. And then a week later, we actually got like another ocean effect, like another 4 inches of really fluffy stuff, but on top of everything. And so that little bit up top has melted, but we're still under a lot of snow, and there may be a little more coming Saturday, and this deep freeze once again. So I think we're just kind of locked in this pattern for another week or so, which is fine. I don't mind that. Mentally, I just dig in and get ahead with some of this work. I want to really get into the interview shows and the next step for the studio downstairs too, but those are a couple of big monkey wrenches that got thrown in our way. So anyway, it's only 88 in California. Speaking of California, you may know that my New England Patriots will be in California, or are there already, and in the Super Bowl again on Sunday. So that's helped lift everybody's spirits here throughout the winter. We had 0 expectations for them all year long. They exceeded everything. It's been fun. They made Sundays fun again through the fall and winter. And inexplicably or unbelievably, they were in the Super Bowl. And we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, we're going to have a big party here on Sunday. I will not take footage of that. I don't think so, just in case. But that should be a fun one, too. So we're looking forward to that. But, yeah, we have a good time around here. And a good group of friends. And we work hard and party harder. So we're enjoying ourselves. So anyway, that's the latest with that. I'm going to end up working on my newsletter now, finish that up, and then get into touch up some of my tax stuff a little bit. I think I've got it mostly squared away. And then get into this murder mystery script, I guess, tonight. It's kind of like just pick and choose what I want to be at. So I just kind of go where the momentum takes me. So a couple nights ago, I stayed up late working on the Elisa video on the sculptor, which is, her work is really nice. I think you're going to like that piece. Last night was like the taxes thing. A couple days ago it was the murder mystery thing. So I don't know. We'll see where my mind takes me this evening. But anyway, that's kind of the latest from my end. There's not too much else to report. We'll see how tomorrow goes with the chat. Oh, it's 34 in Roanoke. Snow still in Virginia. You guys got hit pretty good. I know the Carolinas did. And so that was the big issue with the, we've had that lingering weather here for quite some time. It's just a shame about the fishing vessel, but another thing that's weird too, it's like and we still know other people who are also out in that out this time of year and in that weather. And that's just, you don't really take breaks or vacations. You just go out and when you fish. I used to have a lot more friends fish, and we'd be hanging out, especially in the days when I was more of a night owl and I was writing and doing comedy more, where I had a house in Magnolia. I used to watch a house for friends of mine and stay there in the winters. We'd always have friends over all the time, and the fishermen, they'd be over, 1, 2, 3 in the morning in the dead of winter like this, and they get up and go. They'd stay up late with me, and then they would go to like a convenience store or something to get snacky stuff or coffees or whatever, and then get out there and fish for the day or two. That happened all the time, and sometimes you were just like, it would be 20 degrees out, but you knew how much colder and windier it was out on water, but that's just what they did. So pretty amazing lifestyle. So anyway, we'll follow up as that story unfolds. I'm sure we'll talk about it. I can already tell you right now, when we do that St. Peter's Fiesta coverage and Greasy Pole coverage this year, it's going to be a rough one, because I'm sure there's going to be tributes to the Lily Jean, the fishing vessel that was lost, as well as there was a really bad car accident the last night of the Fiesta. There were a group of kids, and one of them walked the Greasy Pole that day, who were driving home out of town. They're getting like dropped off, and they got hit head on by a guy on the highway, and that was really bad. And one of the kids died, and I'll just say the same family dealing with this fishing tragedy dealt with that tragedy as well. So it's so that's gonna be pretty tough. So giving everybody the heads up there. So that's what we're gonna be dealing with in June and moving forward. So there is that. There's Laura. Hi. Yeah, it's funny now. YouTube's been doing this thing in the live chat where everybody's full handles come up and not their names. So sometimes I have to squint to see who's who. But anyway, that's kind of the latest on my end. Like I said, I haven't heard from Christian in a bit, other than he's been busy. It makes me think that maybe I didn't get back to him, but only because there's been some stuff going on. And honestly, I'm sure if Christian's been on Facebook, he's seen what's happened here in Gloucester, because that news was crazy. I mean, to be on the big stations, national news, every night for a couple of nights is something that we're not really used to here. It has happened for some bigger stories in the past. So yeah, it's interesting how that one hit home with a lot of people around the country. So anyway, there's that. Yeah, it is going to be a sad one this year, and then hopefully inspiring as well. But that's why they do. Fiesta's going to have just extra meaning to it this year. If we do that broadcast for the mass, I'll let people know, just so you don't get thrown off here on the channel. But we've done that sort of thing before. And even if my channel isn't like the true top choice landing spot for people to view, we just do it there so it's easy for people who don't really get this stuff. Make it a little more discoverable for them, or if they don't see till after the fact, to make it shareable for them too. So I keep that public on the channel. So anyway, there is that. So okay, podcast tomorrow, 11:15 or so. Again, I'm back with Andrew, who is the key cog in the next iteration of what we do downstairs. And if he says tomorrow, look, I'm ready to go, then we're ready to roll. So I don't know if that means me moving my computer stuff from up here down there and make that like a studio / office, or what, if we're just decorating or whatever down there and taking some baby steps there with some shows. But like I said, I've got a laundry list of guests who are ready to come in and start chatting. And so I'm looking forward to doing that as well with everybody too. So, and try to find a way we can have some little studio audience down there too. I think that'd be kind of fun and little feed into the live vibe a bit. So that's that. Unless anyone has anything else they want to chat about, I can wrap things up here. And tomorrow's show should get on without a hitch. Who else is working with me downstairs tomorrow? James, I think. He's usually the guy that's on camera. I think he's running the show tomorrow. So I'll be doing that. I'm not sure if my buddy I don't think my buddy Matt can be here too. He's another key one because he has a lot of stuff going on as well as his public access station. So that's it. So I know this much. Within the next week, we're going to have a better idea of, we'll have a podcast under our belts. We may have that video with the sculptor up here to check out too. I've got to do that Essex body snatcher piece once again. And then we'll see what else. We'll see what's going on with this funeral and then with the interview show. So I think a lot's going to happen in the next week. So anyway, and I have a couple of things, new things that I need to show you down in the studio as well. I got to start doing that for everybody. So, okay, Nydia, Anna Lee, thankful. Thanks for holding the wrenches tonight. Laura Rose, good seeing you. I know it's kind of a sparse crowd, but yeah, 6 o'clock's a little early for us, but I figured I'd want to get this out of the way. I didn't want to ignore another Wednesday to chat with everybody. I just wasn't sure what was going on with the family and any services or anything like that. There's Dee Dee, how you doing? It's like I said, like a lot of people don't truly understand my position with either with Bridge Cape Ann, which is my for-profit business, or 1623 Studios, which is the nonprofit, like the local cable station that I do those documentaries for and do like election night and all that. So when things like this come up, I usually get called from municipal leaders or political leaders and officials, and saying basically like, hey, like they think we're just kind of are trying to want to phrase this correctly. Like we can just kind of run down like a news crew and cover something, and it's not that easy, especially in a church like that, and then around a sensitive situation like that. So you got to be delicate with all those things. It's flattering and it's cool to know that people tap your shoulder when things like that happen. So that's why I just got to kind of be nimble around the next handful of days here in case the family wants something or they don't want something. We're sort of at their mercy, and they call all the shots. And if they want help, they'll get help. And if they need to be alone, they'll be alone. So there's that. So yeah, thanks Dee Dee for the kind words. It's weird. Like it was just a huge gut punch. And like I said, like younger people on board, most people like in my age group knew the captain, definitely know the families involved. So yeah, it's awful. So anyway, so life goes on, right? So I'll see all of you tomorrow, hopefully, and hopefully we'll have some new stuff to share with you sooner than later. Like I said, I'm excited about that Elisa Bonelli video. I will throw her, if you guys ever want to go down a rabbit hole, I believe this is her website, Elisa Bonelli. And if that's not it, then I'll share the appropriate one with you when we're ready to roll out her video. So anyway, that's that. I'm off to work on the newsletter and get on this murder mystery script, and we will see you all tomorrow. Until next time, stay warm or cool if you're out there, Rose, in Southern California, and we'll talk to you soon. Adios for now.